Was that Lynn's body? I didn't really get a chance to check. I feel like we would get a little, you know, one of those round spinnies.
Fuck! Fuck! Lynn! Lynn!
Oh, is that her?
You're pregnant. How are you pregnant?
Did she?
I don't want to die here.
I can't imagine she did.
I don't want our baby to die here.
I won't let them kill you.
I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point.
We have to get out of here.
What do you have to say before we get out? I know, but I must know.
We're out. I got Jessica out. It was cold, but the snow had just started.
I can't believe we're out.
We'll tell them what happened. We'll be okay.
Jessica?
My fault.
Oh fuck, he's losing it. That's not Jessica. Find a grown-up. Blake, you are a grown-up. Oh god, he's cracked. He cracked. I don't know where to go. Like, this doesn't look like the way out to me. I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry. I'm a little. I hope you don't mind if I'm a little unsettled by everything that happened. My god. No, that's way deeper than I wanted to get. But you know, it's Outlast. I should have known better. I think Blake might be cracked. I don't know if we're getting him back. I hope so. But I also wouldn't blame him if he doesn't. It's extremely traumatic. Has he ever told anybody? Where do we go? I am so dumb, but I'm so unsettled. You don't understand how much that affected me. I guess we'll just go to the sun. Yeah, that'll do.
What the fuck?
It's no longer raining blood, I noticed.
As far from those places we can get.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the only reason I'm... Okay, there we go. I don't know about shelter. I think we just need to leave.
Down here! We have to get inside before the baby comes.
What?
It's too dangerous. You can't.
We can't stay out here. Help me down.
Wait, when did you get a stomach?
Okay, okay.
Like a baby stomach?
Be careful.
I don't remember that. Ah!
Fuck! Lynn! You okay? I'm coming down.
It hurts.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. It's not your fault. This is just shit. Oh, Lord, her legs. Okay, we have to leave. We can't just stay around here. What do you mean?
I need to lie down.
Okay,
Back
well,
here.
that's all I have to do. I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I just...
It's gonna be okay.
You want to lay down the other way?
Oh, shit! Come on! Come on!
Is it f***ing Marta? I'm gonna lose it. I knew we should have handled her long ago. Where do we even fuck? Okay, this way. I can't turn.
Jesus Christ, Blake!
It's gonna be okay.
I think something's wrong.
You're fine. You're fine. We're going up these stairs.
Too much. I need to lay down.
I know. It's unfortunate. Shit. You'll be fine. God, I can't multitask like this. There's a baby coming and I need to leave. Girl. This way? The stress is a lot on me right now.
Shit!
No!
God, give me voice. God, guide my hand. God, give me voice.
I'm so tired of
God,
you.
guide my hand. God, give me voice. God, guide my
Okay, you stay over there. I'll think of something. Say something. Well, we made it. No, stay away from her.
Fuck you! And fuck your god!
Absolutely. That one's fair. Let's try to... Yeah, I was afraid she might come back to life. Oh my god. No. I know she has to lie down, but we do have to leave.
Blake! A path!
Yeah, thank you. Oh, that's very useful. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Is it this path or this path? What do you think? I think this is closed, isn't it? Yeah. Every gate is always locked in this place, unfortunately. Mist as far as the eye can see.
Worse.
Hurry. We'll find shelter.
It's like the whole world burnt.
I'm glad you're seeing it. I thought I was losing it. A fire? Like, it's not bad enough. Okay, this way. Can't believe we actually found her. Ah!
Oh, shit! Blake!
Is it the baby?
Yeah, she's coming soon!
Well, why now? What? I guess it's not up to us, but...
There! The chapel! We can take shelter!
I'm glad we finally took out Martha. That was... Oh my god. That was bothering me. I was thinking about that for a while. I don't mind the constant thunder. I think it's on our side. I choose to believe that it is on our side.
Keep moving.
Wait, you don't have a jacket to give her? I guess we don't have time.
Jesus!
Fuck!
Maybe we don't have a jacket. I don't remember. I thought that was a person for a second. You got me freaked out there.
Come on, Lynn! We have to get inside!
But I thought I saw a battery. I'm sorry. Cause like, what are you looking for? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lynn. No, you're not gonna lay on that. Lay anywhere else.
Oh shit!
It's gonna be easy for them to just
You need to lie down.
mess us up here.
You can do this.
Oh god!
After all this time?
Something's wrong.
Just
can
keep
do it.
breathing.
Feels like something's wrong.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It hurts too much.
I know, baby, I know. But you can do this, okay? Just keep breathing.
Oh, fuck! Fuck!
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it. Well, it is a baby.
Lynn!
It's too much blood, though. That's way too much blood. Don't die. I swear to God.
Jesus God!
No, we need you!
Lynn! No.
This is what we went down in the mines for.
Lynn! No. Lynn!
He's been through enough.
Ah!
At least he's screaming the right name, though. Oh no, he's purple. Can I wig him around, or what do you call it? Like do the side
So,
like.
Lynn said you haven't even kissed her yet.
What?
Like in Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, you mean drama. The play. We're saving for the, like, actual night.
Uh-huh.
We are.
Okay.
We, like, cheek kiss.
So, like, is she your girlfriend? Tell me, or else.
Or else what?
Is that how that started? Well, we don't have to relive it again, do we? Oh, Blake is going through enough.
I got you again.
That's the child, isn't it?
No, if you dare to screw with me right now.
I've taken care of my children. But yours... I am powerless again. The child's too strong already. You've murdered paradise.
It wasn't much of a paradise, Noth.
God has gone silent. Since the storm, the birth. Who will he have if he destroys us all? Who will he have left to punish? I killed my children. All of them. Every last one. There's no more perfect faith than that. And still, God is silent.
Never thought it might not be God whispering to you.
Child, if you can. If you love anything at all, crush its skull under your heel. I know God doesn't hear dead men, but I expect he answers them.
Nah, for what? It's such a long... Yeah, you just wiggle to the side there. So he chose such a long and painful death too. I mean, I guess it's what he deserves, but... Now who's gonna show me, like, tell me there's a path, huh? Blake rarely even does that. I didn't think Noth would end like that. Oh, I didn't film you. I'm sorry. Ah, last file, or second to last.
The priest dies. You didn't have to do anything. You were a child. Nobody could expect anything of you. None of this is my fault.
See, that's what I said. Oh, Blake, that's a good conclusion. Oh, darling, I'm so proud of you. I'm really proud. Why am I feel really... That really... Okay, that makes me feel a little better about all this. That's good. I didn't see this. Let me...
The world was on fire. The baby was coming. Impossible, child. Lynn said Jess was like her little sister. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. None of this is my fault.
That's so sweet. He was already starting to figure it out there. Which, I mean, he did stay, didn't he? Because he found her on the stairs like that? Like, he couldn't do anything. Something beautiful here, isn't there? Something beautiful about it. Can I see the baby? I can see the baby! How do you look in night vision? Even cuter! Let's go! Let's go! I'm losing it, girl. I mean, it is a cute baby. I've always liked babies. They're like cats a little bit.
God.
I love cats. Huh? What are you on about? Might wanna move. Thank you. I do wanna know what you have to say about that.
She's gonna be okay. You have her. She'll get to grow up. She'll do everything she was born to do.
Really? I sure hope so. Let's go. Baby is pretty fragile. I hope we can make it out. I think all the loose ends are dealt with except for Val. Am I wrong? Not the memory palace.
Hey, Blake. Try to find me.
Oh, Lord.
I'm over here.
I can't use the camera.
This way, Blake.
Lynn! Or, oh, just Jessica, right? You're not in the freezer, are you, Jess? Oh, no.
Hurry.
Oh, your neck.
I'll never let you go. You never let me go.
Is that good?
Now the light has gone away. Savior, listen while I pray, begging thee to watch and keep, and send me quietly to sleep. Watchful Savior, wash away all I've been wrong today. Help me every day to be gentle, gentle, more like thee.
I don't know if that was a good ending. I have to wonder. I can only assume he didn't survive if that's the ending. Maybe that's odd. Maybe that's not the right conclusion. But that's the vibe I'm getting. Like, oh, like just fell on me. Yeah, that's a lot. That's upsetting. That's really upsetting. Yikes. This might be too loud. I don't think anyone's gonna hear my review. Like the end was more sad than it was scary. I have to wonder. I guess Noth was so stuck. If I had to draw a conclusion, I still stand by the fact that it was not real. I don't think there was an Antichrist. I don't think there was... Which I could be very wrong. Because there are, like, also... Like, there's some hints suggesting I am wrong. But there's also stuff suggesting I'm right, I feel like. In a way. Because, you know, the fact that Blake said, oh, we haven't done anything in, like, months. How is she pregnant? I think he said that at some point. And that would suggest that I'm wrong about the Antichrist. That she is having, like, the devil's baby, which I have my doubts. I would more likely just say that she might have cheated or something. Blake was sweet enough to save her anyway, so I don't think she would cheat. Like, if he went through the trouble, like, he knew. Like, he hears she's pregnant. He goes through the trouble of saving her. I feel like she probably didn't cheat. Because he would know right away, right? Maybe it is a miracle baby? I'm not sure it is. Everything with Jessica really upset me. I can look... Well, I'm not gonna look at any files. I remember all of them, honestly. Wait, can I look at these now? I wonder. Like the... Before I get to the conclusion. I keep thinking I see a face or something. Yeah, he... Okay. Yeah, we can't look at those. So let me see if I can see those playback online. Because I have a lot of things to say. I feel like my wallpaper. That's a way more light horror movie. I think honestly, if you're upset about this, like, about this conclusion, you might want to watch Renfield. It's a horror movie too, so if you enjoy this, you'll probably enjoy it. But it'll calm you down a little. It's not that heavy. it's very inspiring, in fact.
Thank you, God.
Okay, this is the... Okay, all school recordings played back. So this is all related to the Memory Palace. I can't. I'm so nauseous.
And you killed her. You saw what she was. The sin rested on her shoulders as much as on my own. You took her, and I could not.
are these like the priest talking to God, or is it to Blake? Because he does have a scene with Blake.
You killed her. And I never told a soul. I kept your secret. Our secret. Thank you. Thank you. You never told a soul. You let the smallest sorrow of her suicide wash over the unacceptable tragedy of her murder.
So Blake didn't say anything, is that it? At the start I was pretty confused by the location. I really was expecting something different, like a more direct sequel to the first one. I don't know. I wouldn't know how this ties in. I didn't expect that. I thought we would get more on the hospital, or they might relocate, or we might get to see what happened to Miles, who is now like who's now the Outrider, right? I figure we might get to know what happened to him, what he's doing with that. Maybe a Wayland's life, as it. I figured those people might be making him miserable for like seeing the truth, but it's actually about this new character, and it's, from what I could tell, completely unrelated to the first one. Yeah, other than the camera, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of similarities with the first one. And the only time I was really like, oh yeah, this happens in the first one, is when the elevator goes down, and it goes down like really far, right? The same thing happens in the first one, except it's unintentional, whereas I don't think Blake really had like a particular place he was going. He was just trying to find Lynn, which he was doing a lot for her. I think that was pretty sweet. He was doing everything he could. When it didn't seem like he was even sure if it was his child, from what I could tell. I mean, that was one sentence, right? Where he was like, well, we haven't done anything in like months. But, I mean, it's hard to place, because you would have, like, a child. It takes 6 months, right? Doesn't it take 6 months for a child to be born? So, maybe... Am I wrong? I could be so wrong. I could be so wrong. How long does it take? Does it take a full year? I'm gonna feel so stupid. No, it's longer. Okay, so Blake says we haven't done it in months, but a pregnancy takes 9 months. So how would... Unless he's like, oh, we haven't done that for like... What? 3 years? So I'm gonna believe that it was his child. I'm gonna believe that... I'm always prone to like believing that there is no supernatural stuff, even as a ghost. I don't think I'm supernatural. I just hang out. I know we saw blood rain, and I know Martha got killed by the cross, but Martha was testing God for a while. I'm thinking that Blake had been through a lot, and I'm thinking he might have just seen those things. Because when he's with Lynn, he no longer sees the blood rain, right? I think that's not real. I don't think the blood rain was real. I think it was just the trauma of everything. Because his past was also mixing in with his present. Like, with the present. So I think he was just not all there. And at first he even said, oh, I got out with Jess, and it's really sweet, but so sad. For a bit there, I was trying to figure out what Blake's past had to do with the current situation. And I figured that there would be some connection with Nath and the school. But there isn't, from what I could tell, actually. Right? There is no connection between the school and his current situation, other than that there's religion mixed in there. There's like a religious message. There doesn't seem to be any connection between the two. But Blake connects them, like he mistakes Lynn for Jess, because he's trying to save both, or he wanted to save both, and he fails both in a way, but he does save the baby. And that's not to say that he did anything wrong. Blake did nothing wrong, and I could say that with certainty, honestly. There was some stuff that I didn't understand fully, like at the end. I feel like there was more story to Blake's past, which he kept bringing up because he's traumatized, and I think the religious stuff caused, like, the religious cult stuff caused him to go back in the past very much. And the fact that he was missing Lynn, like, she was just gone. I think he was just going to the past and thinking of that stuff because of all the religious talk that Noth was doing. And you were finding just religious stuff everywhere, like those notes. That's probably why he was so focused on it. It wasn't because it was connected, it was just that I was bringing him back to his trauma, which is really hard. Like, it's such a sad story. Like, the story of his past is just agony. And I remember every scene, you could tell it was going to be something like, I just had that feeling it was going to be something horrible. And every time we got back into his memory palace, it was terrifying. I was more scared in Blake's memories than I was in, like, the town. It's very uncomfortable. It's not a fun game. I'll be honest. It's really not. It's Outlast I could have a lot of fun with. Like, there was some silly villains. Sure, they did bad things. And sure, like, so I was at the edge, like, I don't know if you remember, but I was like, it was pretty close for me with Eddie Gluskin. I was starting to enjoy myself a little less. But other than that, Outlast was really fun to play, but I'm also a freak, right? I'm pretty. I don't like admitting that, but I'm a little. I guess as a horror fan, you enjoy stuff that is like maybe not always enjoyed as much. But I'll say that Outlast 1 was really fun for me, and there was a lot of villains that were pretty silly, like Dr. Trigger, for example. I thought he was pretty silly and fun. Even though he was scary, right? But I enjoyed the spookies. I could handle that, like, Outlast 1. But Outlast 2, I wouldn't replay again. Whereas, like, Outlast 1, I will play on the bus sometimes. And I'll have plenty... and I'll have plenty of fun just replaying it. I've replayed it, like, a bunch of times already, just on the way on my Switch. Which... I would never... I wouldn't... I was gonna... I considered, because I missed so many of the clips. I was, like, the footage. I have a lot in the photo album that I didn't get. I considered replaying it. But the moment, like, I very quickly started to realize I was never gonna do that. And I couldn't do that, because it's not fun. It's really sad. It's really sad. Like, I don't want to play a game about dead babies again, right? And that's not even the worst part. For me, the Jessica stuff was so sad, so disturbing, and you just don't... You know, it's not the Dr. Trigger goofies or whatever, like the Chris was fun. Running away, like, Miles running away from Chris was fun. Especially with him, like, cussing him out in every note that he writes. Miles was funny all the time. Even, like, you know, he's traumatized by the end of it. And he doesn't actually get out whole, which is really sad. But Miles is, like, a fun companion in that way. And Blake is just deeply traumatized throughout the whole game. Like, from the start. Already before shit goes down, he's already traumatized. And it's sad. It's really sad. I don't want to play it again. It's just... I miss Chris Walker and Dr. Traeger when I played this game. I wish I could go back. Which I will. And I didn't even talk about how I was reminded of my own childhood so often playing this game. I really was. Even the school looked like my fucking school. Like, I was really put through the ringer here. I think it makes sense that I didn't enjoy it as much. Because it's just... It's too real in that way. Like, can you imagine being me? You're, like, playing this game, walking through these woods that already look a lot like where you grew up, and then Blake gets a stupid flashback, and you're in this school that looks like your school. You know how much that freaked me out? You know how much that fucking freaked me out? I mean, that was already a lot. And then on top of that, everything else. Yeah. No, it wasn't as fun for me. Safe to say it wasn't. It's a good game. I would never say it's not a good game. I think people would say it's not good. I disagree, honestly. It's not as good. Sure, it's not as good as the first one, but the first one's a masterpiece. It'd be pretty hard to like do better, honestly. And it's upsetting, but that's also horror, right? So I can't really. I hate it when people are like, "Oh, this was too upsetting," which I am doing right now. To be fair, but that's also just me talking, right? Like, not everybody would necessarily be like, "Oh shit, I recognize some stuff from my own life in that," and I think it's probably easier if you don't. And like I said, I hate it when people are like, "Oh, this horror is too upsetting," like this horror movie. When it's like, that's horror, and that's the fun part. You can just do anything you want with it. As long as you respect the subject, you can kind of do anything with horror, and that's also what I like about it. You can discuss difficult topics if you do it right, and you can discuss them in a real way. And you can't really do that with anything else. You can't really. Maybe that's also something I like about it. Yeah, I hate it when people are like, people did that with Walking Dead too. Like, one of my favorite episodes, it is the one where spoiler, Glenn gets killed. It's been a while now, I can say that. It's he that's one of my favorite episodes, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's too upsetting." That always pisses me off. I'm like, what do you think you're watching? The stuff with Jessica was very upsetting to me. I'm glad they didn't go into too much of what happened. You can assume enough. It's like, yeah, I get it. What else did I have to say? Oh yeah! I was confused, I guess. There's some things that weren't clear to me, like Morta. I'm not sure what her backstory was. It seemed important, and she seemed to have a pretty close connection to Not. Maybe almost his girlfriend or something? But I don't know. Because there was this, like, kind of like a love note that we found. And I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. You don't get to see much of her, of Martha. She's usually hiding behind that cloak. Like, kind of underneath it. I don't know what her deal was. I don't know her backstory either. But she was, like, crying a lot, right? And she wanted God to love her or something. I think that's what... That's the only note I found. I must have missed a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed about that. But I was trying to rush through things a little bit because it was so disturbing. I don't think you can blame me for that all too much. I hope you don't. I hope you don't blame me for rushing through things a little bit because it was very scary. This one was a little scarier. I tend to be pretty brave about this stuff. I feel like the fact that I finished it makes me pretty brave, honestly. Because I was thinking of quitting. I was quite a few times. Yeah. Even if there's not that many people watching, I don't want to let the only people watch me down by just fucking piecing out. Just piecing out mid-game. But you know, I wouldn't be me if I didn't finish it. And I always feel like I can handle anything. Because I always did. So I am planning to do that forever. Right? And I enjoy my horror games, but this was a lot, I'll be honest. Like, the only thing it was missing was spiders, and then it would have just been tailored to my nightmares, pretty much. This one. Which is wild. That's wild. Like, the religious stuff I'm not very comfortable with. The underground stuff. Like, when they go underground, I mentioned that in the first one, too. And that's when we go into sewers, which isn't that far under. And then in this one, we just go that far down into the mines. Wild to me. Yeah, that's a huge fear of mine. Val, in general, is just a fucking nightmare to me. And I was willing to help that bitch. Even when we met her ass down in the water, before we saw her have Lynn like tied up in the sky. I'm still not sure what that's about because that went so fast too. I was still willing to save her before that, and then she did that bullshit, and then I was so pissed. I was so pissed. But we missed a lot is the thing, because the storytelling, every time something, or almost every time something important would happen, we would get flashbanged, which I am convinced was because it was all very traumatic. And it interrupts the story. So a lot of the time you would just wake up somewhere and you'd be like, where am I? And you just have to continue on. I feel like that wasn't always... It was very interesting, and I liked the idea of it. And it's almost realistic in a way for how I think that might go. Like, he just phases out. Like, I could believe that Blake is just disassociating a lot, and I think that's very interesting, but sometimes it would confuse me and interrupt the story at like very important beats. It was sensible, and I understood why they did it, and I'm glad they did it because I think it's clever and, like I said, almost realistic. But occasionally I wanted to know what happened next, or there was like an important story beat that I felt like I wasn't getting because of that. But I'm glad it was there. More so than if it was not. I think that was very important for someone like Blake, who seemed, like I said, very traumatized from the start. Like, from the very beginning. He's already talking about how he dreamt about Jessica. He's already talking about Jessica at in the very first scene. So he's clearly already not well at that point. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like we're missing something when it comes to, like, so Jessica was running away and then she falls like down the stairs while she's trying to escape like the horrible, just menace, terrible guy. She's trying to escape him. I think they mentioned his name a couple of times in the emails, but I don't remember it. I really don't, and I don't want to remember it. Fuck that guy. She's running away from him. She falls down the stairs. And I'm having to piece this together because it's not clear to me. Blake finds her, so he must have stayed in the building. Maybe by the door even. Like, maybe he didn't want to leave, I imagine. And maybe he tried to help her after all? Because I thought he just left and then he found her the next day at first, right? Because we saw those shots of her hanging a lot of times. I figured maybe the abuse got too much for her and she just hung herself at one point, but that doesn't seem to be the case. What happened, from what I can tell, what actually happened, he like spread this lie because he didn't know what else to do, I imagine. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it was too much for him because that priest seemed to be shaming him. That's the thing. I feel like that wasn't elaborated on. Blake finds her, like we saw. He's horrified. Jessica is still breathing. But the priest is starting to realize that Blake knows that he was doing something he wasn't supposed to Jessica, and that she ran away, she fell, and she's very injured. And he seems to be acting like, oh, you did that, in a way. The priest, immediately, from what I remember, he starts guilt-tripping Blake and acting like he's responsible for some, I don't know how you... Do you remember where you kissed her as you... What was that? I remember that scene too. That's also the priest saying that, because I recognize his face, like his voice very well. Because he has like a very distinct one. The priest also says that in the phone. He's like, do you remember? Are you okay? You're gonna get out of here or something like that. And then it's like suddenly, go to the place where you kissed her and you felt her, what, die or something? No. But what does that have to do with anything? Because wasn't he kissing Lynn only? It wasn't Jess, was it? See, now I'm confused. But well, maybe the priest doesn't know, because he seems to think they were kissing, but they were just hanging out. And he does seem to insinuate they might have been doing that, and then he makes Jessica stay at school. Because they stayed longer just to just to kind of hang out, and then they kind of bully each other, it seemed, if anything. And then the priest seems to insinuate that they might have stayed to, like, do something bad, which they didn't do. But Blake might have been really scared and just gone along with it immediately, and that's why he didn't kill him. I can imagine that. Poor Blake. He must have been scared as hell. I imagine Blake must have been terrified. And that's why he didn't say anything. And the priest threatening him with, like, God and sins and everything probably made him even more frightened, and that's why he didn't say anything. And just went with the lie, which must have been, I'm guessing, I mean, I know for a fact almost that the priest must have hung her. And then they pretended that that's how she died, even though she just fell and she was still alive, instead of, like, getting her to a hospital. He just, that's so sad. It's really sad. The thing with Outlast 2 is, it doesn't even tie together all that, like, pleasantly. Like, it just makes you miserable. I figured we'd at least get, like, some connection with Noth and his memories, right? Which is fine, there isn't. It makes sense that he would go back to the trauma with all the religious stuff, like I said. But I figured there would be, like, a satisfying conclusion with Noth. Like, he would either be, like, oh, an old priest from that school that he remembers from something that happened, or we would at least get, like, a bigger conclusion with him. I figured he would be a big villain at the end. Yeah, like, they suggest, with what happened to the guy on the wheel and the woman that got torn apart, like his girlfriend or his wife or whatever, Noth does that stuff. It's horrifying. They seem to be suggesting that he will be a big villain at the end. That's such a, how is your, I don't understand how he, like, in the start with the megaphones, his introduction, I don't understand how his introduction is more powerful than his, like, how he dies and in the end. I don't understand that. Like, his introduction is so strong and terrifying, and once you see what he can do, what Noth does, it's really scary. His face is on every wall, on every house in the town. He becomes such a big, scary presence over the game. And he's constantly with the megaphones, and he's just, and you expect so much, and then the next time you see him, he just sits there, and there's something interesting in it. And there was something peaceful about it too. Or, like, how non-threatening he is. It definitely surprised me. But it really adds to how miserable the ending is, where I figured there would be a big finale with Noth, right? Where you have to take him out, or, well, maybe not take him out, that's not very Outlast, but you have to escape from him. I figured he'd do all he could to either get the baby or get Lynn when she's still pregnant, or not pregnant, whatever. He just sits there, and I wonder if that's intentional, if they're really like, oh, let's have him just sit there and talk. If it was intentional to surprise you, that would be such a silent ending in that way. I mean, you have Martha chasing you, which I guess that's like Noth's army, but Noth's the big guy. He's the leader of everything. How could his ending, like, how could this finale be so quiet? Like, there's something I like about it, definitely, but there's also something I don't understand about it. I really don't, because it wouldn't be so bad if they weren't building him up to be this really scary villain. I feel like that's weird that that's the ending. I feel like that's strange. Because they seem to be building towards him being such a big villain, and then it's just gone. He's just gone all of a sudden. And it makes you even more sad, because the ending is sad enough. I figured I'd at least get like a big finale chase with Noth or something. I can't believe I'm disappointed that I didn't get chased around by Noth. I mean, I don't like Noth. I really don't. He did like terrible things. Which is also why I didn't believe in Apocalypse, because from what I could tell, Noth was just assaulting women because he wanted to. And he was just killing their babies because he didn't want to bother with them. That's what I always got. That's what I always thought was going on. From the start. Because you hear a lot of that. You hear like, oh, dude, all these letters in the houses you walk by from like these guys. That's what I thought he would be from the notes. Just some guy who wanted to hurt women, who couldn't, who didn't really see them as like human, like more as like something for him to enjoy and then throw away. That's kind of the vibe I got from him. And then he turns out to be like, why did he kill himself? I guess he did believe in the stuff he was saying. I never thought he would. He just seemed like someone who was fooling the whole town. His face was on every wall. You're telling me he believes that nonsense? Okay, I mean, I guess he could. But that makes it a lot more sad. Like, did he not assault all those women himself? I don't get it. Right? Isn't that confusing? And don't even get me started on Val with her dungeon. I can't. It's just a lot to take in, and it's pretty confusing at times because of all the flashbacks, but also just in general. I don't know, it's a little confusing as much as I think it's a good game. It's like, there's definitely some stuff I don't understand. Maybe it's just because I missed, it could also be because I missed some files, right? That's pretty plausible. I'm gonna look up a story. What is it? Like Outlast Explained? Outlast 2 Explained. I'm gonna look that up. I miss Miles so much. This game really makes you sad. It really does. I miss Miles a ton. I just want him back. Can we get a game? Can we get another Outlast game with Miles? I don't care. If he's the Outrider, I'll deal with it. He doesn't have to be the main character. I just want to see him. Maybe like I don't know. It could be a comic too. And I'd like a Miles figure. I don't even know what he looks like, but I would accept any look. Just give me some Miles content, for God's sake. I mean, after all I went through, it would be nice, right? Oh my God. I almost bought I mean, on a happy note, I don't want to leave you like this. I don't want to leave you sad like this, so on a happy note, I bought a, or, no, I didn't buy it. I was overbid, which is sad. But I almost bought. Let me see if it's still up. I almost bought one, like the only Outlast merch that exists, which is like a limited run set with files. But it was so expensive, and I ended up passing on it. Because I really wanted it, but this guy just kept overbidding me. For a second there, I really thought I would get it. And then some motherfucker, some absolute, I did a really good bid. And everybody stopped. And I was like, I've got this in a bag. Like nobody's bidding anymore. It's been a week or something. It was so long. And then suddenly someone fucking outbid me by like $5 or something. And then I outbid them. And then they fucking outbid me again by another $5, which is shitty. Because when I did it, I went up like, what did I do? Everybody was baby bidding. They were like, $5. Nothing to do with anything though. I'm sorry, I'll end the review. Just know that I liked it. Even if it was upsetting. And even if I would never replay it again. Well, that's my thoughts on that. And I hope you had as much fun as I had. If you joined me from the start, then I'm really grateful. And I'm happy you like came all the way. I mean, that's pretty wild. Right? That's crazy. And if you didn't, I don't blame you. This one was rough. I really don't. I mean, it was hard for me. I wouldn't blame anybody for tuning out. It was definitely rougher than the first one. But I hope you still found some enjoyment in it. I guess I should say if I'll play Outlast, the new one, or not. I am planning to play Outlast Trials. Because I heard it actually has something to do with the first one, maybe. And I will always play Outlast stuff if it comes out. Because I do love the first one enough. Like, I really... Like, the first one is so dear to me that I would play anything Outlast. So I will play Outlast Trials eventually. But I'm waiting for it to go on sale. If it doesn't... If I really can stop myself, I might get it anyway. At some point. I mean... Who can say if future me can resist that or not, right? Because I'm very curious about it. I heard you can play it with friends, though. And it looks really different. From the trailer, it looks nothing like Outlast 1 or 2. It doesn't look story-focused. But I could be very wrong. But if you have to play it with friends, I might have some trouble there. And I don't want to force Outlast upon my poor friends. Because it's a lot. If it's and if Outlast Trials is anything like Outlast 2, I could never make them buy that. Are you kidding me? Like, I could not do that in good conscience. Like, what if it's traumatic as hell and I told my friends to go get that? I wouldn't. I can't do that. So I think I'd just be playing it by myself anyway. Outlast Trials. And that might not be fun for anybody to see. So we'll see. But I'll definitely play it. If it's worth uploading or not. That's the question, I guess, huh? But yeah. Thank you for watching and see you later. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, is this where I say subscribe? Like... Have I ever said that before? Have I ever asked you to subscribe? I don't think I have. Maybe that's my problem. Hey, I'm sorry about the long ass review, but I watched the ending explained, and there's a lot of stuff it clears up. Apparently, the reason why I didn't see the connection with Murkoff with the first game is because I missed one file. It's like in that file, and I missed it, and they have a bunch of writing in there that explains that there's towers around the village. It's like an experiment by them. There's towers, the ones that do the white flashes. Before the flashbacks that Blake got, those are the ones that caused them. So they were like driving him nuts in a way, just like everybody else in the town. And that's why he kept going back to that stuff, like to his past, and that's why he saw the blood rain. And that's why he saw the baby, which apparently the baby wasn't real. That was part of his delusions because of the Murkoff towers that do the flashes. And I had no idea because of one file, from what I've heard in the ending explained video. So great. Dang it. So I messed that up, I guess. But I was right about the rain not being real and everything, and it wasn't supernatural. So that's good. Another important thing was that Miles was the one who knocked down the towers at the end. He stopped everything from happening, like from going on. And that's the burning sun that crashes down on them at the end. It's like the final flash that the tower manages to do before Miles tears it down. So there's some Miles in this game. That made me really happy to hear, but I would have loved to have seen that, you know? Why not show me that? That would have made me really happy. It definitely would have made more sense for me. I'm surprised somebody managed to figure that out. I think they used, like, help from, like, the comics, which I didn't know existed. There's comics, apparently. I think they were helped out by that. Because that's also how they figured out the conclusion, which apparently in the comics, they have, like, these people who find Blake and he's like lost his mind. He's just still there. He remains in the town, and he's completely out of it, which is really, that's devastating. And I really hope we get like some kind of update on that eventually, because that would be the saddest ending yet to any of the protagonists, and I would really be pretty upset if that's the end of him. And he doesn't even have the baby. I figured he would at least have that baby to take care of, and like he would have something, but he doesn't even have a baby. Like, he doesn't even have the cute baby. It's really sad. So I'm pretty sad about that. But that's the actual story, and I think I was mostly right about like Blake's past. I think we mostly figured that out. But you know, the video I watched explains it better than I do. I'll try to leave a link to it. I'll go do my best to find it, and then you can watch it yourself if you want.